Hello there, my friends, the editor here, welcoming you to today's King of Limbo podcast. And once again, I'm doing the editing portions of this podcast. Today's King of Limbo is Fatman Falling. Joining us today is myself and British Ninja. Also, don't forget to check out Fandom Frenzy for the latest How Not to Brony videos. Having said that, let's begin. Okay, OBS is up, and off we go.
I didn't have that many questions. I hope you have a couple, Ninja.
I have a few scattered around.
I was sitting there watching his longer videos. I was like, I am enjoying these, not gonna lie, but I'm not getting that much that I can ask.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
We can hear you. You're a bit quiet, mate.
Wait, though, you can hear me.
Yeah, no, there
Yes,
we go.
we can hear you.
Wunderbar.
Okay. But I'm quiet? Am I quiet?
No, okay, now you're good.
Okay, good.
No,
Bother.
That was scary.
no, we would have rescheduled for you. It's fine.
Oh yeah. No, nobody likes technical difficulties.
No, it's fine. One of my earlier questions may lead to whether you come back or not. You're gonna like this, I hope. But let's do the intro. This is FNGR welcoming you to Limbo Podcast, joined by the following hosts: British Ninja,
Hey!
the editor.
B.
Fuck you, Ed. You bastard.
There's nothing like having a dyslexic don't joke around with spelling jokes.
Lovely. So anyways, and this week's King of Limbo, Fatman Falling.
D.
I was waiting. I was like, if he doesn't do it, I'm going to be really pissed off. It's going to ruin the whole show. That works.
I see what you did there.
All right. Now, based on the front of your channel, Fatman, I couldn't help but notice, are you a fan of the now infamous Momkey Jones?
Yes, I am a fan of Momkey Jones.
Oh boy, are we going to have fun
I am
now.
supporting him on Patreon, in fact.
Oh boy, Ninja. Do you know where my next question's going? So anyways, if I could encourage, if I could request your thoughts and views on the recent unceremonious heaving from the PCP, aka the Procrastinators Podcast, what do you think?
Honestly, if it encourages Jessie to come back, I would have kicked everyone out of the PCP.
That surpasses a Teriyaka. What's the guy from DBZ?
Akira Toriyama.
Akira Toriyama. I just remember there's this one guy on YouTube who calls it the Akira Toriyama hand job. I'm like, that just blew away the Akira Toriyama hand job.
We support the official release.
Indeed. Okay,
Yeah.
I wasn't.
Yeah, I mean, I love Momkey. He's great, but like nobody, I don't think anybody really compares to Jessie. And if taking Momkey out would bring Jessie back, I'm okay with that.
Okay. No, that's you know what? From completely a fan standpoint, you sidestepped all my criticism. Well, if you're gonna argue it from the fan standpoint, no, I agree, absolutely.
Yeah.
This isn't written down as I just got this run by yesterday. Next week about this time Thursday, can you guess who I'm having on?
Momkey?
Yes. Would you like to come?
Oh wow, I would love to talk to Momkey.
Okay, wunderbar. So I guess
See, monkey.
we're gonna have two weeks of this same crew, I guess, except we're gonna be talking to Momkey Jones next week, people.
First
Gonna break her
first
bones.
question to Monkey Jones. What do you think of Fatman Falling?
Who?
If you
Exactly. No,
The unfortunate truth. When most people hear a fat man falling, the response is, who to what now?
you had your channel since 2017, as far back as 10 years ago. Is there anything that you had to taken down in the past or recent due to editing or quality control?
Oh yeah, I actually do have a video that is gone because of a community guidelines strike. So I mean, back in 2007, me and my friends were recording like shitty home videos. One of them is muted because of Led Zeppelin in the credits, and it's completely muted. It's not just the song; the audio is completely gone. So that video is just gone forever. And I had a video taken down because of a community guideline strike, because we were playing baseball with a ninja sword and like just chucking baseballs and cutting them in half with swords, and apparently that's against the community guidelines.
I now want to see that, oddly enough, and that's not me sucking up.
They're just doing a tennis ball version of Fruit Ninja. What's wrong with that?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Fat man, after picking apart each individual scene, every like second of animation of Ruby, what is your least favorite moment?
Oh god. Well, my least favorite moment of animation is pretty much universally despised. It's the part in Volume 2, Episode 7, when Cinder is running on the rooftops, and the feet animation is just horrible, and it's like nowhere
Spaghetti
near
legs.
the top of the roof. My least favorite moment, well, I mean, least favorite as in like the thing I consider the worst. It's why I love the show, like this kind of like shitty writing, is actually in Volume 4, and my review is on its way out. You know, it's coming out, so you'll see it. But it's pretty much every single line in Blake's arc in Volume 4, Episode 5. It's just a magnificent clusterfuck. And it's what I consider to be the worst written scene in the show, but that's why I love it. So it's not really like my least favorite. My least favorite would probably be something that's just boring. I can't
It's
really
just something
think of...
completely stupid that just goes over people's heads. Because like you're a content machine when it comes to producing like reviews and all sorts. You're currently juggling 2 channels that you're keeping up free, considering your Let's Play channel as well.
Yeah, but that's been a bit.
Yeah, on and
I
off.
can actually
But like
say something
the reason
about
why
that.
you don't see as many uploads is because you tackle these insanely stupidly long 3-hour video projects, picking apart an entire season.
Yeah.
Like, how do you find the strength to keep going looking at that RWBY timeline of Sony Vegas?
Oh wow. Well, it's not easy. It is not easy at all, especially considering the technical difficulties. Because, like, the Volume 4 review is supposed to be out right now, and I was almost done with it. I had 5 minutes left, which is like 2 days to edit. So it was supposed to be out on the 30th. And that was like my goal. And I was on pace to keep it. But I did something awful. I did something horrible. At some point, I don't know when, I have no idea when, but it fucked up one of my 2 backup saves. It was that far back.
Ooh.
I highlighted an entire track instead of one event, and I deleted it. So an entire horizontal video track was just gone. And that happened long enough ago that I fucked up one of my backups. So I had to go all the way back to one of my earliest backup saves, and I still had to rebuild almost 30 minutes of video just for one track. And like, I mean, it's that's been what's been consuming my days. If you follow me on Twitter, you'll know that I'm losing my goddamn mind.
How much real time did that take to get back to?
Oh, well, I'm not even back yet, but I started editing on the 3rd of September. So, and I was like, not September, August. The 3rd of August. And then by the 27th of September, I realized what I had done, and I was almost done with the actual editing process. But now I have a lot of like repair work to do.
Well, we do have a point there. We can come back to Ruby in like a split second. Who's your favorite brony analyst, sir?
My favorite brony analyst? Does Steve have UK count?
Yes. I'm gonna say fuck yes, whether he likes it or not.
Yeah. I can see why. Like, I can see why he would want to distance himself
Because we're stupid.
from being considered an analyst, because it does come with a bit of a stigma. People think, oh, you're just being so critical and so harsh. But like, he loves the show, but he still gets deep into it. Recently, I really I kind of like Misanthropony's videos a lot, as far as people who like upload every week. Back in like season 4, I was subscribed to pretty much everybody for at least a week.
Okay, all right. Let's do the flip side of that then.
Yeah.
Who dropped off for whatever reason? Like, I used to watch this person pretty big, and you don't even have to give the reason. Just throw the name out there. You're like, Can't do it.
Well, I don't know. I can give the reason, because one of the people who stuck around the longest in my subscriptions, despite a drop off in quality, was Silverquill. I stayed subscribed to him for a very long time, and it was his video. He put out, I forget which order these two videos came out in, but he did two videos back to back. He did like a character piece on Fluttershy, and then he did a character piece on Celestia. And like, I think the Celestia one came first.
Yeah, Celestia one came first.
Yeah, because like I don't like Celestia as a character really. Like I can get into that, or maybe I can't. It's just like, it's just like it's not my type of character to think that she's like this loving motherly figure. And I know a lot of people like that about her. But
this season they're kind of trying to nudge it that way.
Yeah.
I mean, we all
So
know
he
the
did that
truth,
video, and I was just kind of bored with that one. But then he put out a Fluttershy video where he said Fluttershy is the only introvert in the group, and I'm like, I can't do it anymore. I'm unsubscribing. And it's just like, that's the worst. Like, that's the worst thing to take away. I mean, that's just a bad life philosophy. Okay. If you think that you have, like, if Fluttershy is the only introvert in the group, then you're like, what? Introverts are just socially crippled people? Anyone who's not socially crippled doesn't count as an introvert? It's like, come on, guy.
Oh, all right. It's funny you should bring that up. No, hold on. Yeah, Silverquill. I want to bring this up now, and I was about to apologize. I was like, I'm sorry that I took a shot at Silverquill at your crowning moment, and now I'm not so sure I should be apologizing.
I did kind of lean back, and I was like, really?
Oh, yeah. No, I was waiting for Ninja to come yell at me that day. You've been disappointing the shit out of me. Like, Ninja hasn't screamed at me since he was a mod and I was fucking on the outs. I'm like trying. It's like he knows that it'll validate me.
I think I've mellowed out. I feel like I've just... The tides of bullshit that go through my door daily at this point, like, I could mop it up, but then I just have to mop it up again tomorrow. Like, what's the fucking point anymore?
You just open the door for it, and it's like, yeah, just get it over with. I don't care.
I feel like the Joker, and I'm staring at Batman. Hey, come on, you could stop me. I'm pretty sure today'd be the day. I could reform.
Oh, sure, get back into Arkham. Oh, wait, there goes the wall again.
Yeah.
Whoopsie daisy.
What YouTube channels do you prefer for non-pony related content when you're slacking off or otherwise? Especially like when you say you lose like 30 minutes of or whatever.
Channels that I like. Hold on, I can just look. Probably just open my subscriptions and just look. Like
must see uploaded content. I was like, this is out now. I'm taking a break.
Yeah. Or the ones that you go to the most. It's like, okay, I've seen this video before, but I really enjoyed it, so I'm gonna watch it again.
Well, one of the most recent ones I found was AKindAleWar. I found one of his videos. I think it was the Dead Rising one. And then I watched all of his videos from then on, and just a while editing, just having his videos on in the background. And then I saw his Ruby review. It just came up in the autoplay. I made a tweet about it. I was like, how could AKindAleWar be so awesome and think Ruby is good?
All right, well, yeah, I'm going to need a link to that channel because I'm definitely going to include that in the timestamp.
The wild editing.
Yeah, he's Yahtzee. He's just... he's very clearly taken inspiration, more than a few bits of inspiration from Yahtzee. Like, watching his newer videos they're great, but if you go back to some of his older ones, you're like, that's just Yahtzee. Nice. Like, sometimes he even uses the same jokes.
Does he use the same art style?
Very, very similar.
Oh, okay.
I'm a little like, what do you think of I'm obviously not thinking of any one specific, wink wink. What do you think of Ben Yahtzee ripoffs?
Like,
you could
AKindAleWar is a Ben Yahtzee ripoff, but I haven't seen that many, actually.
Oh, okay.
You could open that up, because there's a ton of people who either take stuff or just try and be another Jim Sterling. In any kind of community.
Well, those are two different animals there, boss.
What, Ben Yahtzee and Jim?
Yeah, those are two
I think that they're... Yeah, they got different styles, but both of which have that kind of bravado attitude, like high octane. And
before we get too far away, I also want to just throw a a heads up to CloudCuckooCountry because his videos have been on point recently.
Fuck yeah.
Oh, yeah,
I
man.
usually love Cloud. He's been really cool. Especially, I'd like to thank him for all the times he's been on here. But that second video about the bird rape, I had to click off that one.
Oh.
I made it 9 minutes in. He's like, "You didn't even get to the Anthony C part." I'm like, "I'll try again. I promise. I'll go back and leave it up for retention." Everyone, even if you don't like bird sex, just click on the video and mute it and give him the full whatever time it deserves.
It's worth it. Even if the idea of bird rape isn't glorious to you.
I mean, stop right there. I mean, if what are you even doing with yourselves?
How long have you been into Hamilton? And I noticed that you were talking about when you found the edits versus the original versions. How often does that really happen with plays?
I honestly have no idea. I love musicals, but I hardly ever see them live. I didn't see Hamilton live because the tickets cost upwards of $1,000. But
Jesus.
I saw oh yeah, Google Hamilton tickets. Try to find a seat that's like not in the nosebleeds for less than $1,000. It's impossible. The one play that I did see live was the Book of Mormon, and it had like an actual story with talking parts in between the songs. So there would be a song, and then there would be like a scene with actors just talking normally. But when I saw Hamilton, the bootleg anyway, the fair use tool of criticism to make it sound more legal, but it's only the songs. It's just the songs. There's no actual bits when characters are talking in a scene, which was really weird to me.
Did you there's a brony who did a cover for that. Are you familiar with De Wilstonator?
No, I am not.
Oh, okay. He did he did what's it called? You but me, but mostly me, I think. It's a wonderful, recommend that.
Oh yeah. That's a really great song. That whole Book of Mormon is just great.
Are you intellectually woke enough to watch Rick and Morty?
yes, I am. I am.
When can we get Fatman Falling to cover Rick and Morty?
Oh, soon.
Well, $5 on
soon.
Patreon. Just link that right everywhere.
Yes.
Yeah, I'll do 5.
Here.
stick that link around.
Okay, I would pay the $5, but you have to sound as pretentious as you have to play up the meme to the maximum degree. That Rick and Morty is only for the most woke intellectuals.
Oh no! You mean like Jim Sterling and the intellectual gamer?
Yes.
Oh God.
I will
to be this smart to watch Rick and Morty.
I will get fan art of your lobster thing there with like the wig on it.
As great as that meme is, I don't believe, I don't follow it. I don't
You don't think it's that smart?
No, I think Rick and Morty is really, I don't know. I have an angle because my favorite episode, season 2, episode 4, I think. It's the one where Beth and Jerry go to couples counseling on the alien planet. And at the end, Rick says, he kills all of the clones in younger bodies, and is like, no, I think you're mistaking a thematic similarity to a contextual one. It's like, it's a show that wants you to think it's much smarter than it actually is by explaining itself. So it explains what it just did in very simple terms, and then you feel smart for having figured it out.
Really complex really complex ideas take really simple language.
Yeah.
That's something you learn in law school.
Yeah.
I guess that doesn't necessarily apply here, but anyways, what video did you put the most amount of time into?
Oh, the most amount of time was probably my Volume 3 review. But the most amount of effort is certainly this Volume 4 review.
All right, everybody, keep your eyes peeled for that one.
Yes. Go subscribe, and also go pledge to my Patreon to be in the credits in the special thanks.
What movie reviewers or analysts do you watch?
Movie reviewers, I watch Your Movie Sucks. He's great. I know I follow more movie reviews. Like a lot of like old school YouTubers I just don't follow because I didn't get into them, and they're so they've been around for so long that they've established their style, and all their videos like kind of bleed together.
Oh,
Like I'll watch videos from here and there. Like what's the guy's name? The Chris Stuckman? Is he's like a movie review guy, right?
That sounds familiar.
Yeah,
I can't pin it on a channel. But...
Well, if you're not a fan of people from that guy with the glasses content, there's a gentleman who's doing a biography of sorts on him. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Go on.
Oh, I'm the one not groaning. That's funny. What are your thoughts on if you know the name Medicare?
I only know him from like the fact that you've done content.
Okay, never mind. All right, that's all. I apologize. I mentioned Voldemort, guys. Anyways.
Oh no! I thought Fatman was gonna say, "Oh, I mentioned him from the time where you guys had a fight."
No, that's
no,
fine.
I know
Anyways,
him from you.
Oh, that's funny.
I have no ill wills towards Jim. I just figured I brought it up. If he didn't like freaking that guy with the glasses, he'd probably be all over that. Moving along. You talked about Birdman, and not covering the book. Would you like to see CloudCuckooCountry cover that? And if so, if you offered you a collab, would you consider reading the book to partake in that?
Oh, probably. That would get me to read a book. Yeah. Being able to work with Cloud, I would certainly overcome my slow reading and my mild dyslexia for long enough to actually.
Hey.
I could see Fatman Falling like getting like Cliff Notes version, and then like Cloud just like testing him around that. Being too polite to exact.
Are you planning to go see the My Little Pony movie in theaters?
In theaters, no, but only because I don't have money. I will probably pay for it just because I want to support it. Like, if there's like, a purchasable
Okay.
version.
I'm curious. Out of 10. No opinions, no spoilers, no nothing. Just out of 10.
I was gonna unplug my shit for a second. If you were gonna go into spoilers, I'm like, okay, I'll be back. Just type in the chat.
No, not a spoiler, but whether you think this movie is a solid 9 or a solid 5 out of 10 depends on your answer to one question. And I'm not going to tell you what the question is because that would.
All right. So that means, but before Momkey shows up next week, we will interview you about that, and we'll all have to watch the movie. Okay?
I can't wait for Momkey to see it, because if you watch the Emoji Movie and did not have a terrible time, like he watched the Emoji Movie and didn't have a terrible time. If he watches the My Little Pony movie and does have a terrible time, I don't know what's gonna happen.
Is he a brony?
He's not. Momkey?
No.
He makes fun of Digipro for it.
oh gosh.
No, I expected I was going into enemy territory tomorrow or next week, but anyways.
You and me, Fatman, we're both a fan of the Procrastinators podcast and everyone on it, right?
Yes.
You have to kick one core member in order to take their place. Who is it? All right, I'll for the sake of argument, let's say it's best guy, Digi, Jessie,
I already said best guy.
Oh, you kick off best guy? I am honestly shocked.
Child. That's
I thought you were gonna say Munchey.
I mean, so Munchey is the best on the podcast. Like,
oh, you and me are gonna have a fight later.
Oh, really? We are.
Yeah.
Do you watch their bonus episodes?
I'm afraid not. I'm a pauper.
I see.
Funny about
Munchey has absolutely saved every single bonus episode except for the last one. But
well, you know what? Fair enough.
Yeah. I love Munchey. I love Hippo. He very rarely chimes in, but he always chimes in with solid gold.
I actually had a sit-down podcast with Ben Saint and Munchey where we were clearing up some bullshit.
Oh, yeah, because of their Frog Fractions video.
Yeah, no, we sat down and we had to talk about that. And he's like, oh, it's just stupid that you guys thought that Digi was in charge. And then I watched Digi's video on Munchey, and he's like, that's when I threw up Momkey. That's when I chose to put this on the channel.
Yeah. Did you see the Devu thing later that day?
Oh, God. Can I kick Devu instead?
I'm not going to lie. I would keep Devu just because of how fucking funny that monkey story was. Anthony, if you haven't seen it yet, Devu put up his own version
I'm
of the
told
story.
it's a meme. I'm told it was a bad meme and not to watch it.
I don't know,
It was about hamsters. His entire thing was about how he like wasn't actually invested in the vote because the hamsters, his hamster was eating its babies or something. His hamster was about to eat its own babies, so he had to like go to the store and get a cage, and he was running out.
The way that he jumped in between like the two segments, I don't know. It was a good storytelling bit. I thought it was funny.
All right, I'd like to point out that this man likes Spike episodes, and that's why he likes the Devu. He likes Jerry from Rick and Morty. That speaks volumes.
I like Jerry from Rick and Morty too.
I do.
I like the lay people.
You don't like Jerry with his psychic powers?
I like the fact that Jerry won at the fucking end of this season.
I know, like, congratulations, Jerry. You are the first person in the show to, like, beat down Rick into saying I quit. This is bullshit.
Have there been any other movies that you wanted to break down, or either that you're working on or you haven't the time to?
Oh god, I don't have any time for anything. But yeah, there are a lot of movies I want to break down. I mean, my favorite movie is Shaun of the Dead, and I really want to talk about that.
Nice.
Another like I want to do Red vs. Blue season 1, just because everybody falsely assumes that I just hate Rooster Teeth when that's like not the case. I mean, they were like my entire adolescence. Like for 10 years, they were like the best thing on the internet.
Oh, dude, Rage Quit?
Yeah.
Rage Quit like... taught me all the bad words.
Thank you, Michael Jones, if you're out there.
You were so cinnamon roll and pure just now, Ninja, that I could see like Kichi peek up in the background. Torture.
It's literally how I was as a kid.
Oh, that's beautiful.
I would love you to do Red versus Blue reviews then.
Nice.
Oh yeah, I definitely want to do season 1, and then I want to do 9, and then I want to do 11, because those are, I think, the 3 that I really have something to say about.
Oh yeah, wait, is that the one with Felix and Locus?
No, I know. Well, I guess Felix and Locus are in 11, but they show up at the end, or they show up in like little intervals. But 11 is the first season that Miles was lead for.
Oh yeah, that's right.
And everybody, even the people who agree that 13 was an ass, say that 11 was good. But like, I don't know. I have a bone to pick with that season. I even liked 11 until I saw 12, and then I'm like, wait a second, 11 wasn't good.
Based off that, what's the longest running series that you sat through like terrible content because you used to love it? You're like, I can get through this. I can see the light at the end of the tunnel.
The longest series that I sat through the terrible part of, I mean, it was Red versus Blue. I usually drop things that I don't like immediately.
I had mine for Bleach, but good call.
Oh, I don't. I've never seen Bleach. I tried like back in like 2007 when torrents were a thing. I downloaded the first 50 episodes, but they were all in a format that I couldn't open, so I never actually watched Bleach.
Look at it this way: you watch one season, you've seen them all because it's the same story told over and over and over. I was like, these characters are all fun. That's supposed to be an insta-win.
What is your thoughts on D&D and roleplay?
Kiss my ass. We're not doing that.
I mean, my thoughts on that are pretty simple.
Unless you're going to give me a bunch of links where I'm going to explain to people in the video. And then they're like, hey, so you guys know what Fat Man's talking about. We're going to move on. Oh, boy. Okay, cool. I didn't hear yes.
But it's my first experience with, like tabletop role-playing games.
So, speaking of which, what do you think of Warhammer 40K?
Yes.
I used to play Warhammer as like the strategy game.
I love this guy.
Do you ever bother with text-to-speech?
Huh? No. What?
Okay. Oh, allow me, sir. You're about to be welcomed to a magical world. There is this YouTube channel. You know what? It's discrediting it by calling it a YouTube channel. There is this place of existence on YouTube called Emperor's Text-to-Speech. Do you know about the Emperor in the Warhammer 40K universe?
Nobody I knew played Space Marines.
Okay, well, yep. Anyways, he's like entrapped in this eternal throne that they pump like psychic energy into him. In this version, he wakes up and he's just the biggest jack-off ever, and it is the most magical journey that even people like Brony Buck, who have no sense of humor whatsoever.
Oh my god! Wait!
Just
Brony finds it's funny.
Oh no, he loves text to speech.
Oh my god! I love that guy more than I thought.
Yeah, no. It's so good. The shorts, when like a 30-minute clip or like the Christmas special or Slinishness comes out, I'm like, oh. I have to run up to it and download it for fear that it might go off of YouTube,
Let's talk about season 7 of the MLP Pony Show.
But one real quick, we could segue real quick. Just let me have this one, I promise. What's your biggest YouTube headache?
I haven't had that many. Like on my main channel, obviously, I got like a bunch of videos hit with the demonetization, and they're all so old that it is very unlikely that they'll ever hit 1,000 views in a week to get actually reviewed for monetization again. But that's not really a big deal because like the ad revenue thing is, it's nice. But if I don't care if they demonetize half my videos, if that attracts back the advertisers that left in March, I will be so happy. Like
I'm assuming the reason why they're doing it because it happens to videos that aren't necessarily this. Like if an ABC or an NBC or a Fox is out there, like we better make sure that we get these people the blowjob that they want so they stay on YouTube. You know what? Let's fuck all these content creators. Let's make sure all the TV people get all the commercials that they want.
That's my YouTube trending page is absolute cancer.
Yeah,
it always was though.
Once in a blue moon, you'll see a fucking great video like iDubbbz. He skyrocketed up to the number 1 on trending because of his fucking rice gum video.
Yeah. Does anybody follow Jax Films, the YouTuber?
The fucking Your Grandma Sucks guy? Yeah.
Yes. He hits number 1 on trending like every other week, which I mean is great for him. But like, I don't understand trending at all because H3H3 when they put out their video about winning the lawsuit, they got like 3 million views in an hour and they weren't on trending, which is fucking stupid.
Well, why would YouTube basically show? Oh, look, here's proof that fair use works. That this might create more work for YouTube. Yeah, we better bury this.
Yeah, I don't know.
But then there's the opposite. You'll see a very shitty music video done by some B-list rapper, and it will get like 300,000 views, and that will be on trending.
I hate the like more so than the trending page. I hate the creators on the Rise page. That's
a page,
or it's a tab in. Yeah, there's the trending page.
That sounds even worse. Fatman, are you sure you want to show me Pandora's box here?
Yeah.
I could see Ninja. This is going to be his new thing. So this is British Ninja, and today we're going to be doing a Let's React to the creators on the right. You know what's sick? I'd probably watch for a little bit. I'd be really hyper. God, I can't believe he's doing this.
Just
God,
for
I can't believe I'm still 5 videos later.
But yeah, like creators on the Rise pisses me off because it's always a channel with like 4 million subs that gets like 400,000 views a video, and I'm like, no, they're not on the Rise. If you have over 100,000 subs, you are risen. That channel should be exclusively for people with less than 100,000 subscribers.
Okay, there's kind of a catch-22 there. It sort of reminds me of EQD, but this wasn't always the case. Yeah, they highlight the people that already have the views, so it kind of feeds back into them. There was a time where EQD couldn't have made that remark where they was like, hey, if you actually did promote somebody, you could have made a star. But nowadays, so one day when YouTube's like dying and something has eventually replaced it, who knows what that'll be.
Probably,
yeah, they'll start to consider it. They'll start to be, and it'll be too late for it to matter, unfortunately. Yeah.
But back to like YouTube headaches.
Mm-hmm.
So you'll notice that I didn't do the end of season 5. Maybe you noticed that. It's because I got a copyright strike. But whenever you get a copyright strike, it always tells you what video got the strike. Like, it didn't tell me what video got the strike. As far as I could tell, this strike that was unappealable was not tied to a video. I got every video on my channel got claimed, or every season 5 video on my channel got claimed. I lost monetization entirely, just like what happened to the guy with the glasses. Yeah, and my channel had a copyright strike that was not appealable, and it was not tied to any video. And I just had to wait 6 months for it to wear off. So that was really bad. And because of that, I didn't get to review. I never made a longer video about the Crusaders of the Lost Mark, or What About Discord, which is an episode that I feel needs a bit more representation.
Yeah. There's another thing. When you get a strike these days, they don't even the first strike doesn't hurt the time length of your videos anymore.
Yeah, that's great. It
fucks streaming, which isn't my problem.
Which is really weird. Yeah, but my friend Raymond, he got a strike, and then we recorded this hour-long podcast about it. And I was like, during the podcast, I'm like, wait a second, you're not going to be able to upload this. And he's like, no, they changed that. And I'm like, oh great, I guess I haven't got a strike in a while. But yeah, I actually kind of, I don't know, enjoy is the wrong word, but enjoyed like the limitations imposed by the automatic copyright detection system, because it forces me to get creative and not show just an unbroken 15-20 seconds of footage. Like I have to actually cut it down to 7 seconds if I don't want to deal with the headaches of appeals and stuff.
Nice.
Which plays perfectly into my editing style because it's eclectic and rapid fire.
How long did it take for you to do the DWK homage?
Yeah, my totally illegitimate recap.
Yes.
Those videos come together really quickly because if you look at my main channel and my biggest videos is this series called Ruby Abridged Sort of, which is just a rip-off or a send-up of DWK's style. The first one was even called the Ruby Totally Legit Recap until somebody called me out on it. And I'm amazed that there's anybody who watches Ruby and DWK. Like, you're just as damaged as I am. I'll be honest with you. I've
recommended DWK to a bunch of people, and no one has yet to say this is garbage. Most people, yeah, even people who don't like me, would be like, no, this is pretty solid.
Yeah, he's great. Like, yeah. I've tried to recommend him to people because, like, I know a lot of my friends. I have one friend who is as well, I guess, like the most brony, but she stopped watching after season 4. She's only watched the episodes that I've said go and watch this because it's good after season 4. But like a lot of my friends just don't watch My Little Pony at all, and I've tried to get them to watch DWK videos just to see how it fares to an outsider, and they've all been relatively pleased.
I think DWK is the best parody series right now.
No doubt in my mind.
That's the only thing where I would kind of disqualify. It's closer to an abridged series than, I mean, there's analytical parts in there here and there.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah.
I love when he just goes off on like tangents of like how real the show gets. His one about Apple Bloom's episode, On Your Marks, that was just like, yeah, this is the best thing I've ever seen.
Oh, the first episode he ever did, Flutter Brother, was magical. Like, oh my god.
Flutter Brother was the first one?
I thought I could swear Flutter Brother was.
The first one was No Second Prances.
Might have been.
I don't know. Yeah, but anyway, yeah.
You know who I kind of feel sorry for? There was this guy called, I think he did this video series called Horse.
Yeah.
And he did a similar thing to DWK, but DWK outshone him in like every area. So while he was like starting to rise up, then DWK showed up and completely wiped him off the map.
Yeah, I like Horse. I like Horse a lot.
But like going back to my sort of original question on the second half of MLP season 7, because you and me are in a bit of a slight debate about where it should have been cut off. Because like,
yeah, you say that it should have been cut off right after because it's only one more episode to include Fame and Misfortune, which I think is a great episode.
I disagree if it's great. I place it just one above Slice of Life as a nod to the fandom, but done better.
Oh, really? I thought it was like, I don't know. I thought it was way better than.
I don't know. I saw your video on it.
This is kind of like the same thing that CellSpecs brought up from Upending Fences. It's not that the critique is bad. That being hers was, why couldn't Moon Dancer just been left alone? And I'm like, when you consider that the show is called Friendship is Witchcraft, or Friendship is Magic. Sorry,
There we have
Freudian
it.
slip. Yeah, considering that it's the friendship propaganda message, is it surprising that they took the you have to be friends?
Everyone will die.
Consider the show's message. They're very upfront about it.
I nearly thought that the recent Zakora episode where everyone becomes a tree, or slowly does into. I thought my original thought was, wow, that's kind of metal, and then I finished and I was like, wow, that was kind of edgy.
Ninja has a good idea that I can't let go away. When you said that's kind of metal, no, that's kind of edgy. I want to see Ninja's metal versus edgy video. This is when you're metal. This is where you've gone into edgy. I dare you. I want to see this.
I'd have to get Toon on that, but that'd be fucking great.
Oh, I could. So you're going to be the metal version, and he's going to be edgy. Yeah, I'd like to see that even more.
How the fuck is that gonna work?
Who's someone whose fame in the Bernie fandom that you don't entirely understand?
Oh my god. I don't want to like. Okay, because I mentioned at the beginning of this podcast that back in season 4, I tried everybody.
Mhm.
Like I for at least one video, and I subscribed to everybody. And as soon as I saw a video I didn't like, I would just unsubscribe because my subscription box was a mess.
Mhm.
And like, because and a lot of people I stop watching, I assume they continue to get better. So I'm trying to like cover my ass and not make any enemies by saying, oh yeah, good, 3 years ago you made a bad video, and that means you suck. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that, like, I mean, one person who I do think is just bad is Mysterious Mr. Enter. I don't understand.
You went for the safest of the safe.
His fame at all. But I know that's why I'm not gonna. I never liked Finn the Pony's videos.
Ooh, well, I take
Whoa.
it back.
And, keep in mind, I haven't watched him since season 4, so because I feel like a lot of videos in like the brony fandom, there's a huge propensity to recap the plot of the episode.
No, look, you can be in depth and have like wacky shit and have it all lined together.
Yeah, you can.
Yeah, no, hold on. I want to give the example. Do you follow any anime analyst? Are you familiar with Gigook?
Oh God, talking about Digibro and his recent scrap with Momkey and his former scrap with Gigook. That video, his bitching about anime YouTubers, especially Gigook, happened right after I unsubscribed from Gigook because of his Konosuba video. So when Digibro came out shitting on him for that Konosuba video, I was like, yes.
You were vectified.
Wait, with Konosuba, was that the one where he was doing it about like you have to really hate yourself or something like that?
No, it was about like Konosuba's really funny, but explaining the joke is bad thing. So I'm not gonna do that. I'm just gonna make a video telling you Konosuba's funny, and telling you that explaining the joke isn't good. So I don't actually have to produce any content to make a video.
Okay.
Look at me, I'm Gigook. Here's a clip from Big Bang Theory, except with Konosuba words instead. I'm just like, this is the worst video I've ever seen.
Okay, maybe I need to go back because I only saw. Well, okay, I saw 2 videos from him. I saw the repeat to Digibro, which was really good, and I went in wanting to be pro Digi. And then I saw some other video where he broke it down. I'm like, oh yeah, no, this I could see why Digi would be threatened.
Yeah, Gigook's "Don't Be Like Digibro" video was good.
Oh.
And I agree with it. I mean, you shouldn't be like anybody. You shouldn't try to be like anybody. If you happen to be like someone.
The main point where he completely slammed it, where he's like, Super Eye Patch Wolf doesn't have to learn from Digi because Super Eye Patch Wolf is already better than Digi, and I'm like, that hurts, but it's true. I really hate to say it.
Do you follow Misanthro's videos?
In a way.
Periodically,
Occasionally.
intermediately, yeah.
Yeah, Misanthro's Daring Done video was a little similar to mine. Because I start raging at that episode and I go off script and I just yell about how the episode could have been done better, and he does exactly the same thing.
I've seen him, one of my former patrons boosted where he lifted some lines, or like at least scene for scene, from I think Razor Fist. So yeah, no, I've boosted. I'll be completely honest.
You know what's a funny story, and I don't think I've told that many people about it. I think it was To Change a Changeling back last season, season 6. I really didn't have any strong opinions on it, so I was really struggling to find shit. So I pretty much lifted word for word Digi Brony's first review that he did on Applebuck season. I literally just took the entire like first 2 paragraphs of that review and edited just the names and the episode. That's it. No one picked
And
up on
Brawny
it.
fell for it.
No, everyone fell for it.
Oh,
You could get a great job at IGN with that.
No, in fact, the funniest comment was from Misanthro. He was like, "Wow, that thing that you said about Kevin was so deep and intellectual." And I was like, "Oh, come on, man, it's right in front of you."
What the fuck?
to be fair, Digi took down a lot of those videos.
Never
I
did.
don't think he took them down. I just think he privatized them.
Yep, you can still find them on his channel.
There's a
They're
playlist
something,
of
yeah.
all of his old,
Yeah.
unlisted stuff.
This is a shout out to one of my patrons who will go nameless so he doesn't get in trouble. A while back, do you remember that there was a Trilab that Silver Quill did with Buck and Voice of Reason for
Equestria Games.
Yeah, I didn't even know about this comment in the video because the video itself. Well, I'm not beating up on anybody specifically. Felt a little dry. I got bored. I clicked off it. Didn't know about this, but then I had it brought to my attention that Voice, if you did say this, I'll put it out there. We shouldn't interpret the episodes. We should just appreciate them for what they are. What do you think of a comment like that?
You shouldn't interpret them. You should just appreciate for what they are.
Yeah, I was like, that kind of destroys the whole community.
The point.
Oh
of
wait, how do you
is
know what
analysing it.
they are without interpreting them? Like,
Do you think?
you
Do you think he's coming more from the standpoint that Equestria Games everyone was expecting for it to be fucking Equestria Games?
At the tail end of season 4, that was during the Force Positivity's Crusades Zenith. And that would have been the time and place to say that stupid shit. You felt that way, which is really weird that that a Voice of Reason of all places. I actually didn't see that part. I don't know if that's true or not. I had it brought up to my attention from a couple people. Why don't you say something about that? I was like, here, I'll include it in a podcast.
Oh.
We'll bury it at the tail end after an hour.
Well, we don't even have to make it controversial. We'll just detach it and say, let's just break down the statement and just say that it's fucking stupid. Because you can't even get a reaction without interpreting it. Interpreting, I can't English today. When you can't understand media without at least unconsciously analyzing it in your own head as a thing.
Like appreciating something for what it is and not what it could have been. Like I believe that a lot.
Yeah,
a lot of people don't like the Crystal Empire because they're like, oh, Sombra was boring. He should have been
Sombra was
like
amazing. I don't get why people hate on Sombra.
I don't get it either. Or the other one, like Equestria Games, should have been about the athletic pursuits and not about Spike's stage fright. Like, I mean, sure, but that's not what we got. Like, what we got was still fine. It was still good. I liked the Equestria Games, even though it wasn't about the actual games.
I did have a come back to that because I remember it was a Scorcher who made the remark, oh, do you think we could have had an episode where the sports would have been fun? I was like, not to argue, but that was kind of the best part of the third Equestria Girls movie. It sure wasn't the retelling the Twilight story.
Third Equestria Girls movie?
The third. Yeah.
Yeah,
again, like, it's not a high bar there, though. It's Equestria Girls free. But I'm not gonna lie,
it was still
Equestria
better
Girls
than
2.
Equestria Games. That's all I'm saying.
Equestria Girls 2 was the only
Wait,
decent
that was
one.
Equestria Games.
You loved Gauntlet of Fire, right?
Yes.
Oh, yes.
This is where, again, me and you
We should
will
fight
to
about
the
that
death.
sometime.
Yes.
Why do you not like the episode?
Oh no! It's I put it as the second worst.
Interesting.
Anthony, could you
really
please
doesn't like
remove
Digi 'cause that
Fatman
was
Falling's Patreon link from the description and swipe him off? Who came second in Analysis Daily? Can we get him on here?
Oh,
Yes.
Jesus Christ!
Let's call Deckard in here. Just get him like on short notice.
What's he talking
Just
about?
pull
Remove all
Deckard in
mentions
here
of
for no
people
reason.
from all Pony Analysis videos.
I want to talk about that for a second because I'll admit it. I'm just as guilty as everybody else because it usually annoyed me that I started seeing analysis. I wouldn't say started. It always kind of became a popularity contest. But when I sat there and I watched Fatman's and Deckard's videos side by side, it's not that I didn't like Deckard's video. It's just I was like, this one is clearly better. I am going to go with the person with the better content, with the better analysis. Oh my God, it's almost like this is what the channel was for. And then I saw Pristine's remark that put me in fucking orbit. Oh, people just picked Fatman because no, that's not
they
like...
wanted to see the underdog win. They didn't actually care about who was the better.
No, I want... Okay, Blissy, I'm going to say this from a place of love. Okay, no, I'm not.
Oh, I think the funny thing is, I think even Blissy will go, wait, really?
Yeah.
Didn't Lightning Bliss actually vote for Silverquill?
Yeah.
I specifically went with Bliss because I have my issues with Silver, but
yeah.
Analytically speaking, objectively, no, Silver.
I said it in the video. I've had a biased horse in this race, and my God, those last few days before the ballot kind of closed, I gunned the shit out of everyone I knew. Hey, go vote Fatman. Hey, go vote Fatman.
Was that the tricky one or the Deckard one?
That was versus Tricky, where the vote was literally like last minute.
Yeah,
please, I beg.
It was somewhere between 1 and 4 votes.
Yeah. I actually
recounted a couple times, and Tricky was so pissed off.
Tricky was in no, Fatman, you weren't here obviously, but Tricky was in call when they did the counting. Oh, he was.
Do it again. Okay, no, I'll do it again. No, still lost.
And then
didn't he
he
lose
started,
more on the second count?
I don't know whether you knew this, but he actually started spamming me when I was 2 hours late. It's like, where were you?
Oh no!
It would have happened. It would have been.
He had a Manga Common put out a video for him. He had a channel with 18,000 subscribers put out a video for him. I like couldn't believe it. I was over the moon when the voting closed.
There is just one other question I want to ask.
Go ahead.
Okay. Well, kind of two. One, you obviously when you're doing your videos do not use an OC.
Yes,
that is. And you've only recently decided to choose one. Why a lobster with a pencil?
So in my first Ruby Volume 1 review, which was. It was actually the third video that I put out. I needed to represent someone who couldn't write. Because I was talking about Ruby. Of course I would need to represent someone who couldn't write. And who writes worse than someone without thumbs? And the lobster with the pencil picture was like old. That used to be my actual like screen avatar back on the Rooster Teeth site in back when Red vs. Blue was still on season 5. I think that was 2008. So that was the picture that I had, but I needed to use it because I liken it more to Yahtzee's imp character than like an OC. It's a good enough like representative of my channel. I can.
So he's your mascot.
Hold
on. And I can put anything in between his claws, so it's great.
Is that in your case when you said that's his imp character? Is that your Billy?
My Billy?
Your
Billy
Jeff?
A little, I guess.
Yes,
the problem is Billy and the shrimp is funny. That's the difference.
Oh my God! We need to have that. We need to have. That
you heard him
series.
here, Kichi. He admitted it. Eric isn't funny.
But yeah, like whenever I have to like talk to myself, like the way that you use the Jeff, the British Ninja Cinnamon Bun.
You're encouraging, man. What are you doing
in your videos? Whenever like I always just pan the audio slightly to the left channel so that you can tell that I change, like
it's one
characters in my video. So like. I think I referenced that in my Volume 3 review. I might have cut that reference because it was kind of on the nose. But I was like, shut up, left channel audio. I know what I'm doing.
Mm-hmm. I think we've given Ed here enough to edit. Stop.